I do not like RBG Forever, though. She gets on my damn nerves. Always in the comments chirping. I'm gonna mute you for the entire live, and then you can come into the box if you want to talk, because you get on my fucking nerves.
I love you, Curly.
Oh, Curly. Having a day, huh?
I can't stand her.
All right.
I think all the most hated should come up. All the most hated.
Yeah, bring me
and
up.
talk your
Oh, wait, I'm
piece.
already here. No.
So the thing about it is what I don't understand is a quote unquote cis female can get into a debate on a trans person who believes trans and women align and are synonymous, and we don't go at things with emotion, and we're being dogpiled by 5, 6, 7 other trans individuals who hate us for being women.
Exactly.
But when they come to these lives, right? So when they come to these lives, they want to get all emotional, and then we're the bad people.
Right.
Bullies.
I bet you she's starting her own live now to talk about this.
That's why I bully the bullies. That's my favorite thing to do.
You know what scares me the most, guys? You know what scares me the most is everybody you've asked to describe a woman, they said, I feel. See, I would have come out and I said, I know what a woman feels.
I know that I'm not one.
What it is. It's like to go through puberty as a young girl turning into a woman. The experience are completely different. Our bodies are completely different.
Yep.
And it's not, I'm not disagreeing.
I'm still trying to figure out what this feeling is. I'm trying to figure out what this feeling is because
I know what the feeling is. The feeling that you can't wear white jeans because you have to figure out what time of the month it is. Otherwise, you're nervous as hell all day in school.
And oh my God, the fact that you have to wear underwear, like I don't like those things. I would prefer to never have to wear another pair of jeans.
So
why don't I wear them?
I just don't understand, guys, how they can't accept it, because we can't turn around and say we know what trans women go through, because we don't. And it's the same as the opposite way around, but why aren't we butthurt about it? We don't understand trans women, so why are they butthurt about not understanding women?
Somebody please tell me what gender queer is, because that is brand new to me. I have never heard of it before.
What is
gender queer?
So gender queer is something that has been around it's been around for a lot longer than it looks like. I remember gender queer being around starting around about in the 90s. And it was a way of people explaining that they didn't know where on that, because obviously when I was a baby, gender was a spectrum, and there was binary, and then there was all the stops in. If you think of it like a train station, yeah, and there's all the stops in between, and between. Stopping there, it was not complying. It's gender non-conforming, but in a different language. At least it was back then. And it was a way of gender expression being a way of saying that you were exploring gender and exploring your gender expression as a full-time thing, as opposed to me, who was like, nope, I'm a dude. I know I'm a dude, but I'm stopping at every step to make sure that I'm a dude on the way.
Well, that would really piss me off if I was part of the LGBTQ plus community. That would really piss me off.
Or it could just be...
It sounds like you just said gender fluid. That's what it sounds like you just said.
Except that it was a gender fluid, gender non-conforming, and for a little while there. You've got to think that everything's changed really quickly in the last 30 years. Even the way that trans people explain things amongst themselves has been different from whether you're in Australia or America or Spain or wherever the fuck you are. There was no concrete for a while there. And gender fluid was also some people who were sometimes they felt more one than the other, but that could slide amongst. However, and it sounds really gross. Gender fluid to me sounds like something you change.
I don't know.
So
I just remember growing up, queer was always a terrible thing to call people.
So gender queer.
In Australia, queer now is something that we use.
Confused?
Like
for confused people?
So
queer,
basically,
when you're gay, and the gay community
Lynn, I'm
uses
listening
queer
to you.
So
I have a question though. I thought queer was
Lynn, what were you trying to say? You've tried to say it like 1970
Sorry,
11
Elaine.
times.
So gender queer is just basically saying, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up yet, but I really want to be accepted by this community. So therefore, I'm going to be part of this community because it doesn't have anything to do with my sexuality. It could just be about my identity. So I can kind of basically just plant my tree right in the middle, and everybody's going to accept me. That
No,
And I
is
can
what-
change when I want, and I
appreciate
can
where
change
you're going
myself
with
when I
that,
want.
but not quite. If that, I could like genuinely, I appreciate where you're going with that, but not quite. I think that it is, and this is going to get my fucking ass kicked, and fuck it, I don't care anymore. I think it is a form. I'm in my 50s. I don't give a fuck anymore, and I fought for these.
Good,
fuckers,
you
so
shouldn't.
I'm in a mood. I also just woke up, and I'm hangry, and I haven't had caffeine because I'm a 4-year-old when I wake up. Minus the caffeine thing, obviously.
Same.
Please don't give your child caffeine. I think that I think that it is a way of, it is a feeling, and I don't come after me for that. Hold on a sec. It is a feeling, but you've got to remember that feelings are actually pretty valid in self-exploration and self-determination.
Can you drink some more water?
So
Sorry,
I
I
thought
thought I
you were
was.
talking to me then. I'm like, okay, I will.
Yeah,
You're
you
right.
should drink more water.
I can't. I've got end-stage renal failure. I shouldn't be drinking caffeine either.
Oh no.
But it's all good. Look, I think that it's a rough. Gender stuff is rough, and I'm not saying that because of the poor me thing. I'm saying that in that there is so many definitions that we've given ourselves over time that aren't necessarily binary, because gender is a spectrum, but sometimes exploring that means that people also like to hold on to labels as well. I don't know why, but I did it, and it was because it was something that I knew if I had a label when I was in a time when I didn't know. I'm not looking at the comments if anyone is talking at me. Yeah, so I think that I think personally that gender queer, gender non-conforming, non-binary, and all of those are things that are needed, but there are some people that have amazing definitions for them, and some people who are using definitions that, but it's really hard when we're a young community. Fuck, I know I've started like 12 sentences. Please run with me. It's hard when you're a young community and you're trying to settle into what things are, and you've got a majority looking at you saying, but half of you say this and half of you say this. But definitions do take time to bring together. So that is my TED talk, and it was very bad.
So I get what you're saying, but in the case of JD Mariah, my definition still stands. Of the planting, your feet in the middle, exactly. And right. Because, like I said, I've debated with this girl for a while, debated against her, and this is the very first time I've ever heard her say she's genderqueer, and she's got a flag up. So I'm going to say that my definition of her is still correct.
Surely people are allowed to explore, and when they find something, they're allowed to put their hand up and say yes. And this is what I was expressing, but not having the words to be able to.
And since she got on TikTok and she decided to get some friends, now all of a sudden she's part of a community that she wasn't part of before. Sure,
but you're allowed to become a part of a community that you weren't a part of before, and then find out that was what the fuck you were thinking. Sorry about my language. What you were thinking and what you were feeling at the time. Surely. And over time, you can go, holy shit, that was fuck. I know that you don't like cussing, Sophie, and I know you're on your last account, and I'm on my last account, so I'm trying to be good. So yeah, I think that you can be exploring gender and then be like, holy, this is what I actually am, and this is what I've been feeling the whole time, even if I didn't have a word for it.
So, like, I say the same thing about non-binaries or MBs, whatever you want to call them. You know, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to change anything. They can just kind of be like, well, I'm here. This is what I identify as. I don't have to change anything. I can just say this and I'm a part of the community. Like, I think I feel, I'm going to use that word. I feel like it's a complete, like they're using the community.
Pop out.
Yeah.
The slap in the face
But
for
surely
all the struggles and all the activism that the LGBTQ plus community has gone through that we do not discount and we do not disrespect. But when these people like JD Mariah come up and say, hey, I am queer, what that means to me is like, you're not putting in the work. You're not
But
going
what is the work that is
She
expected
calls
to be
herself
put in?
trans, right? So she calls herself trans. And trans people, in order to be, well, at least for me, I'm sorry, I'm going to speak for myself.
Yeah, of
I
course.
view a trans person as a person who has put in the work, who is making the effort to be trans. Like, that's the whole definition of trans, is on the other side of. So, like, for somebody to just be and not do anything about it's like a trans woman with a full-on beard and mustache. I don't care how you feel. Like, you have to put in the work
Hey,
to be respected.
Sophie, Trini wants to come up, please.
If
I have a
there is
question for you, Werewolf.
yeah, of course.
Can you be non-binary transgender?
By definition, I think non-binary is a form of transgender. But run with me on this. It's something that this is only a fairly new experience for me. I've spent a lot of time talking about non-binary, which I usually don't like to talk about things that I'm not. But let's see what I can do here.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second, Werewolf. Let me interrupt you.
Yeah,
I need to make an announcement on this because I can't pronounce his name because it's German, but he made the point about R.C. Dubs, and it needs to be made. R.C. Dubs wrote a book, and I want to applaud him for that. I really do, because writing a book is a big feat in life, you know? But in this book, he goes into talking about his marriage. And I thought everybody should know about R.C. Dubs' wife. R.C. Dubs' wife is also his adopted sister.
Sorry, what?
That's not a joke. That is not a joke. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, I believe it. I'm adopted and I have an adopted brother. I would never marry.
His adopted sister from El Salvador.
Yeah, I actually posted a video about
Kind
it.
of crazy.
Did they?
So
Was it a marriage of convenience? I'm so confused.
So
Wait,
this
I
guy,
heard Augie-
this guy,
I heard
His
Augie-
wife was adopted into the family when they were like young. She was like 3.
And then they got
married at 18. Yeah.
Whoa.
yes, sir.
That's why she's an immigrant. I heard Augie talk about this like a few weeks ago, and I swear to you, the minute she said that they got married at 18 and that she was like an immigrant, that's the first thing that came to my mind. That she was adopted and
So
like
it's almost like it's like a prearranged
like an arranged
trafficking
marriage is what it feels like.
as somebody who is adopted and has many adopted siblings, that is the most disgusting thing that I've ever heard in my life.
It's like your brother, legit.
Like
I've
my brother, I will say, like, is an attractive man, and I can say that. He's
You're not gonna
adopted.
marry him.
But there is no way on this planet you could
No,
pay
that's
me
your
enough to
brother.
marry the man.
Really
your brother.
quick.
I
for my
dubbed
mods.
RC Dubs. I now dubbed him Joe Dirt.
Really quick to my mods. If you see Puck come back in here under any of his fucking 1,000 accounts, just block him. I don't want him in my lives.
Yeah, I'm watching the chat close. That's why I'm quiet.
That's
Hey, y'all.
pretty fucking gross.
Good day, y'all.
Hi, Trinity.
Hi, Sophie. Sophie, I know you mad at me, boo.
Hey,
I'm not
Jenny.
mad at you. Why would I be mad
But
at you?
I just had to do it. You see, Amy is a person who started me, right?
Oh,
Amy started bullying me first. So I said, anytime I see Amy alive, I'ma terrorize it.
It's on site.
It's on site. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing like it. Anytime she's in a live, I'ma make her uncomfortable. You all know Billy, right?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a TikTok creator called Billy. Billy and I were good, right? Amy was in Billy live. I went and trolled Amy in the live. Amy started crying. Billy, block her. She's bullying me. She's bullying me. And I got blocked. Now I have to go and talk to Amy now, to Billy now, and ask her why she blocked me.
Oh, you talking about Billy Hamilton there?
Yeah. Billy, Amy is a very disrespectful person. That bug disrespects people right through. And mind you, I call it a bug because that's what it is. It disrespects people all the time. It's very disrespectful. And when you giving her a taste of her own medicine, crying victim. Why you crying victim? You started this. Amy
questions, and then she starts being a victim about every single thing.
Exactly. So now every time I see Amy, it's on site. Like I'm not playing with you. I'm gonna bring out the Caribbean in you. I'm gonna bully your ass. Another person is JD. I think that red dye gets to her brain, yo. Like let me tell you something. If 1 minute you're a trans woman, 1 minute you're non-binary, next minute you're genderqueer. Like, make your mind up. I don't understand. Make your mind up, because you're confused, bro. You're a very confused individual.
Like if JD is like what you just described, Trinity, she is needing to, like, I would go as far as saying that she needs to be accepted by a community so bad, but whenever somebody in that community that's truly a part of that community says, no, this doesn't fit you, you need to find somewhere else to go, she just picks up the next one.
I bet you next week she's a trans man.
Stop it, Trini. Come on.
No werewolf. No, like, listen. We may not agree. Listen, no werewolf. 1 minute you're non-binary, 1 minute you're gender fluid, 1 minute you're trans. Like, make your mind up. You were non-binary 2 weeks ago.
At least they didn't marry their sibling.
No, but 2 weeks. But that's the thing. But 2 weeks ago, JD was non-binary. No, this week your gender. What she said? Gender queer.
Gender queer.
What the fuck out of here?
But I think what Trinity is trying to say, and it's the same thing I have. Like, if you stand 10 toes down on what you are, what you identify, or whatever, I'll have a hell of a lot more respect than somebody that keeps changing it up just to fit some sort of narrative so that they feel more accepted by a community that they're probably not even part of. And if you're doing something like gender queer, all you have to do is announce it. You don't have to. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to. It opens up an entire spectrum. You don't have to claim anything. And that's my issue that I have with somebody who says, "Oh, 1 week I'm non-binary, next week I'm genderqueer." So genderqueer just basically means that you don't identify as a male or a female, right? Your sexuality, you can change who you're attracted to. So what works?
Gender a reclamation of a word that was often used about the LGBT community.
Like, grew up thinking
tried to use